Hey everybody, welcome to the GARF Network. I'm Eric.
And I'm Matt.
And tonight we are celebrating our 1 year anniversary. It's not right on the date. I can't remember the date of the first October show, but it's been about a year and 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we're celebrating tonight. We're having on some friends, some fellow collectors that are going to be sharing kind of a Halloween show and tell roundtable of sorts. And before we get into that, let's talk about, first of all, the reason we're here in George A. Romero Foundation. We put together, actually, we counted it, was, what was the number? 33 total shows, Matt?
I think 33 or 35. We were hovering right around the three dozen mark. I mean, that's amazing to think in 12 months, 36 shows. And, there were, during the summer and recently there were some gaps because of scheduling and, stuff going on in the world. But I mean, we came out of the gate running last year. And I think we've, over the last year plus 2 weeks, have put on some just fantastic shows. A lot of laughs, a lot of, working with schedules and coordinating folks and surprises. I mean, one of our first shows, surprise Jace Witman showed up and,
actually, I was trying to put together today, and I'm trying to get it back onto our YouTube channel. And finally, we've got a decent YouTube's let us have a decent URL. It's youtube.com/GARF Network. So go over and give us a sub if you get a chance. But I'm trying to put together our very first live broadcast as a part of the GARF Network. Actually, our first show was the Ed Polgardi, but we had to do that because of a technical difficulty. We had to broadcast that on the WGON StreamYard channel. But first one we did on the GARF channel was the Tales from the Hood 25th anniversary, which was just a stacked house of cast and crew. And but we kept getting knocked off the air. And so anyway, it's been off the air for a bit. I'm trying to get that one back up, but that was our very first first one. Was about a year ago. On the money,
almost. I think it would have been about 2 weeks ago. Would have been the show, and that was fun because we had Audrey was running it, and Rusty Cundiff, and we had a bunch of cast and surprise Brandon, who played the little boy from Rusty's segment, happened to be watching, and we were able to pull him in and have him join, and that was like the first time I was like, oh, this is really neat. Like I'm hoping like this will continue to happen, and then the next show we get Jace Witman. Just happens to pop in for Tales from the Dark Side. But yeah, that first show that with Tales from the Hood, and he kept getting kicked off, and we're like, what's going on? And we're like panicking because we're only showing little bits and clips, and it's first time out of the gate, you want to shoot like a rocket, and we kind of stumbled a little bit, but I mean nothing that was on our end. But yeah, I want to go back and watch that show again. It's been a minute since we saw it, and that was actually on about a week and a half ago, and I sat and watched it again, and I kept like going back and laughing and remembering that show. And I shot an email to Rusty. I was like, hey, just happened to be a year ago tonight. You were on our show and Tales from the Dark Side's on my TV. How you doing? I just wanted to say hi. And he was appreciative of it. So it's been nice. The reception folks have given the show and the foundation and how much they love George and they understand what our mission and everything here is. And it's to celebrate George, preserve his legacy, work with new and independent filmmakers, and celebrate indie filmmaking. And across the board, I think we've just scratched the surface with some of the stuff that we really want to do.
And this show will officially draw to a close season 1. And if you think about our last 2 shows with Joe Bob and Greg Nicotero, I think we're really going out with a bang. And we've got a couple of emails that we've got to respond to tonight, and we've got a lot of we always say it. We always say we've got a lot of stuff in the hopper, but I think we've come through. So we've got more of that to come. And before we get into that, let's we do bring these shows to you free of charge. If you do get a chance, stop by thegarf.org and donate if you can. And real quick, we want to play a special message from Mr. Malcolm Mcdowell.
Hello, I'm Malcolm Mcdowell. This October, the George A. Romero Foundation is trying to raise $15,000 by Halloween. Now, this will help the foundation continue to honor George's legacy by restoring his work and supporting young filmmakers. And you know, George always wanted to support the younger filmmakers. He was such a true gentleman, the dearest man I know. And I just wish to God I'd had the privilege of being directed by him. But instead, I got his friendship, which meant actually even more. Anyway, if you give by Halloween, your donation will be doubled. So celebrate Halloween and the Godfather of Horror by donating today. Thank you.
So if you get over to thegarf.org in the next 4 days, the GARF is matching donations up to $15,000. So consider getting by, and also it helps keep the lights on over here at the GARF Network for another year. So, we've got in the green room tonight, we don't want to keep him hanging any longer, Mr. Dave Burian. How you doing, sir?
Very well. Thank you. How are you guys
Welcome.
this evening?
Good, sir.
Thank
How
you.
are you?
Not too bad. Doing well.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your year anniversary, guys. Great stuff.
I was thinking too, I can't believe it's been a year and we haven't had you on yet.
Hey, what better time than now? Still got me in just under the wire.
That's true. That's true. Well, you first came onto our radar as, just a possessor of just amazing things regarding, the realm of, film props and collectibles. I mean, how did you get started in that whole universe?
Oh my gosh. I didn't know we were going to do the whole history, but I can give you a brief one. I'd moved out here doing physical therapy. What is it? Almost 25 years now, back when the internet was in its infancy. And I was on a bulletin board about Creepshow and met our mutual friend, Chris Stavrakis, on there. And at the time he was helping Tom Savini with getting all these props ready for sale, believe it or not. Some of the stuff that Tom had. I think one of them was one of the Jason busts, I think that Kirk Hammett has now. But Chris was working on these things, and I, first of all, couldn't believe that I had the good fortune to meet someone while I was at the time temporarily in Pittsburgh, and then to meet someone that was so closely affiliated with Tom. And we had chatted, I think, for several weeks, and finally, you make that decision to meet in person, which he did. And he knocks on the door and shows up, and I think he had the Jason bust, he had Raoul, and I think he might have even had E.G. and brought them all into my temporary apartment, and I just fell on my face like I couldn't believe it. All this stuff. And so through him, I wound up meeting Tom, like being introduced to Tom, and kind of things went back and forth with him. And at some point, Tom needed help with his computer, and that's something I had always been interested in doing with repair, doing repair work, and that's how I met Tom. And over time, Chris had taken me to Tom's shop when it was back located in Lawrenceville, and I would see all these fascinating things just lying around. And you got to remember, this was 96. So there was not really much interest in any of these items back then. And so I just worked the deal out with Tom. If he wasn't, how fond he was of some of these things, could we exchange or trade or do services like that? Because at the time, what I was doing, I guess, was kind of a rare thing. And he didn't want to send it off to a corporate place or a retail place or whatever. It's like much better to do it with a friend or somebody that you know, especially having, a lot of personal things on computers. And back in those days, the standard thing I remember was they would say, "Oh, sorry, we had to delete everything. You just have to start over." That's pretty much what what was happening in a lot of those places. So he was like, what, you can do it without having to do that happen? I think that might have happened to him once. So said, oh yeah, I wouldn't even undertake it if that was something that would happen. So it just wound up for several years that happened, and I was helping him with that. And then a few things came up for sale over the years. Some things I would get asked first because folks knew that I was interested, and it just kind of expanded from there. So I was just that classic right place, right time thing, really. But I had loved the film since I was a teenager, and that's going back 40 plus years now. But I had always been a long-term fan, and obviously since I was in Pittsburgh, and that was the first thing I gravitated to on the bulletin boards, was that whole Romero Savini thing, because that's what I really loved. And that still continues. I mean, that really hasn't changed. So, but that's basically the story.
Was it maybe through that message board people would see your items and then just kind of figured out who you were and just like, well,
no, I started out, the way that I met Chris was I was asking like these real odd specific questions about the films or the locations or the like stuff that everybody knows about now. And you got to remember, these were the days like before location hunting. So like nobody had been to the Don Airport in years and years. Like nobody had been to like that type of stuff. The first time I went to the Night of Living Dead Cemetery. We just had a power failure. Perfect for Halloween. The first time I went to the Devon City Cemetery, I needed to stop like at 2 convenience stores because they had no idea what I was talking about. Like they just didn't have a clue. So
that's a good one, Dave. You, Chris mentioned you on that UK commentary that you had found the Don Airport. How did you go about that?
That's really funny. People, I think it's hard to believe there was a time where there wasn't Google Maps and Waze and all these things. And it was a matter of asking people, like literally physically going to places and asking people if they knew, if they remembered. And then of course the network of people that I met at conventions, because I was a very avid convention goer back in those days, like at Chiller Theater. So I would network with those folks that I had met that were Romero friends or fans, or even some of the actors. I don't remember specifically who I talked to about the airport. I might have even been Chris. I might have reached out to Chris, and he had mentioned it's in this general area and go look. And, at that time, I think I was 32. So I was a lot younger. But at that age, like you guys are, prime, like you get to a certain age, like you're raring to go and do all this stuff, and I'm going to go out and find this. And that's exactly how I felt. Like, gosh darn it, I'm just so determined and I'm such a fan. I'm going to go out there and check this stuff out. And that's exactly what happened. Like, I just would not give up. I just kept, just harassing people basically. Can you tell me where this was, that was? And I mean, you guys know there were some real, embryological conventions in those days where the school bus took people out to that airport. I mean, it was just kind of crazy. It was nothing like this huge public awareness that there is today, where people come from all over the world. But that's what was very strange to me, is like, I can remember a time when there was none of that. And that's what's, it's wonderful. I'm glad that there's so many people. And of course, with the internet, we get to share it with everyone. And that's a wonderful thing too. But yeah, it's something else. It's, I'm so glad that I have a part in all of that kind of thing. It was very ironic that it wound up being known for the prop thing just because of happenstance. But I like people to know that I really was at a certain time, I couldn't believe other people weren't doing that. And that these early days of the internet, that there weren't more folks, at least to me. I was surprised people in Pittsburgh weren't all about it themselves, but I guess sometimes you need somebody that's not part of it all the time. I'm sure there are other people that knew that information, but just weren't enthusiastic about sharing it with other folks. And I think that's what, that was really the part of the fun for me, was that I was able to go and check these. And it just, again, very selfish. It was like, I wanted to find it for myself. But then once that happened, and here I had made these other friends, that holy cow, look at this. Because that's like the craziest thing. You'd hear, oh, Dave Burian didn't find that airport. That airport was there forever. And blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, yeah, it was. But folks just didn't. It was not in the popular culture at the time, and there just weren't fans like that. That it was that obvious that you would kind of go all out, and that's what everyone does today. But it's so much easier. I don't know if you knew, but a few weekends ago, we went and found the Tales from the Dark Side location. And it's outside of Latrobe. And that was like an old school thing that nobody has ever posted where the trees located, where you see the signs, the graphic, where it comes up. And that's 40 some years without all these location channels, and nobody had ever found it. It's like, well, thank goodness, we were able to track it down. And again, it's a Romero fan should be the person that finds that. I talked to Mike Gornick about that. That's the reason. He said nobody had ever asked him where it was, and he was by himself shooting that. I think he was coming back. He said he was traveling across the country, across the state from shooting Night Riders, I guess, in New Hope. And they had asked him to do, he was shooting something. I'm not sure how the timelines figure up, but he said that he was by himself shooting all these different landscapes, and he thought that was kind of a crazy thing to be doing for a horror series that was going to be coming up, but that's what the producers wanted at the time. So he said, let's check this out. And he got me to he got us to the location, like the general area, and we wound up finding it, thank goodness. But that was just like, what another moment. Like, it was kind of like finding the airport moment. I just couldn't believe it. And shocked again, because of course now with the internet, once you go on, everybody says, oh, tell us where it is. Right? You're like, oh, of course. Like within a day or two, like, well, of course, I can't keep this a secret. This is ridiculous. And as soon as you do, 10 people go, oh yeah, that's right by my house. I knew this the whole time. I'm like, okay, great. Like, it's just interesting that fans, and these are saying, that's what's even funnier, is these are fans that are on the page. Like they're on the Tales from the Dark Side page. Like, well, why wouldn't you ever tell anybody else? If you knew all this time that that's exactly where it was. So you know how it goes. It's just kind of separates the true fans out, I guess.
It's just like that being filmed in everybody's hometown in Western PA.
Oh, Livermore. Yeah, I hear that all the time. That's what everybody says. That was when I first came out here, that was the first response that I got. What cemetery was that filmed at? I said, Livermore Cemetery. And apparently that's still a thing. I think there's some articles online about that where people have asked, where is that location? And some people still say that. Livermore Cemetery. So that's really interesting to me. It's still a thing out here in Western PA. It's very funny.
Well, Dave, since your power is out, you want to go ahead and bring in some other folks, maybe let them show some stuff first, and then see if your lights come back on?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
First up, I want to bring up, let's see, friend of the show, Jace Witman. How you doing, sir?
Greetings. Good to see you.
Thanks for joining us. And I think you were actually on our very last episode of WGON Radio, where you got to share.
Like I killed the show. That was I went and looked because you guys were talking about like when was the episode. Oh, there's just lights.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like I think I was on September 12th of last year.
Yeah, I think we were right in that little middle zone there where we were kind of waiting for the official word. We'd already done a couple of kind of unofficial host deals. And it was maybe a couple weeks later where I think at the time we had you on, we knew we were going to become a part of the network, but just kind of hadn't done anything in a while and needed to do it. Just kind of felt the urge to kind of produce something in the interim. So yeah, no, that's awesome. You can always, add that to your resume.
The killer of WGON.
Let's see who else we have in here. We have tonight, Mr. Wills. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me, gentlemen. I love everyone in this room.
Always a pleasure having you, bud.
Thank you.
Sorry to surprise you. I guess I could.
You're good.
Teach you up a little better of Signals from Pittsburgh podcast. Tell us a little bit about that real quick. Tell us how to find that.
Well, it's just on Spotify. We're on Anchor. We're on iTunes. Signals from Pittsburgh. All it is just me and my friend Brittany. We try to do an episode a month. Sometimes we do 2. We've had Matt on an episode. We started a sub podcast called Movie Match Mania, where we watch a movie starring a wrestler and then a match afterward. And for Matt, we picked his favorite wrestler, but maybe not his favorite movie, Goldberg. But it was pretty fun. Go check that out. Thank you for the plug. And we're going to have Eric on soon. We're just nailing it down. He's such a busy man, and we just do it for fun. You know, you guys are the professionals. We're just fans, you know.
Well, it's like you keep, just as soon as I think I know the answers, you keep changing all the questions on me. You know, we book a show and then suddenly it's on 2 different movies, 2 different wrestlers. I'm like, where are we? So I don't even like these guys.
We'll figure it out. We'll hammer it down off camera.
There was probably a list of a dozen movies I would have picked before Will picked Universal Soldier 2. And he's like, what do you want to watch? I'm like, I don't care. He's like, you like Goldberg? I'm like, yeah, man, I love Goldberg. And I'm thinking like, what's that one? Santa Claus? I'm like, let's do that. And he's like, Universal Soldier 2. And I'm like, really?
I did it as a rib on you, but ultimately it was a rib on everyone.
It was. I watched that movie. I powered through that movie for 90 minutes, man. And I was hating life every second.
There's a reason that he was not in Universal Soldier 3.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
There should have been a lot of reasons he wasn't in Universal Soldier 2.
Well, Matt, I got something great. I just want to say this right quick. You were nice enough to give this to me, so I know we haven't got to prized possessions yet, but I just wanted to give you a shout out here. You were nice enough to sign this for me. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Here's the right one. So this is one of my prized possessions, autographed by GARF Network's own Matt Blasey, who actually stars in, and Eugene. We've got Eugene Clark on there as well. So thank you for that.
You're welcome, bud. Anytime.
All right. I also want to bring on the George A. Romero Foundation's own Christian Stavrakis. How you doing, sir?
Hey. Hello, everybody.
Oh,
can you hear me?
Very warm.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, good.
Vocals. Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
Another day in paradise.
Appreciate you joining.
I just heard my name coming up, and I figured I better pop in just to make sure Dave remembers everything correctly.
That's right. I apologize, Dave, too. I'm toggling your mute. We're getting a pretty bad echo, so I'll be mindful of when you just raise your hand. No, I'll be mindful. I promise. And also we have Jason Green on the line. How you doing, sir?
Hey,
buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Always.
You were
Congratulations on your almost 1 year.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you were on one of the last WGONs as well. One of the last couple.
it was close. It was really close. Yeah, and then Jace had to mess it up for everyone else.
That's my job.
Jace killed the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those 4-hour marathon shows.
Yeah, it was
that
like
night.
2.5 hours, I think.
And
they always went by quick.
Yeah.
We have a surprise guest on here as well as Daniel Lowery. How you doing, sir?
Howdy, gentlemen.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Dave.
Captain
I've actually
Lowery.
got to meet everybody here except in person, except Jace.
Right.
Maybe one day,
soon.
sir. I'm going to make that West Coast trip.
Yeah.
For too
Well,
long.
and I'll definitely show you around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Jace, actually, you need to come
east,
young man.
I definitely do. It's overdue, like decades overdue.
Yes.
Yeah. And
You know that hat that Dan is wearing was once owned by JFK.
You never know.
Wow. You just blew my mind with that.
This hat has become like my Indiana Jones fedora now, I guess.
It's your calling card.
That's why they call you Captain Dan.
That's all right.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Dave's power
How's
is back
Tennille?
on. I'm going to unmute Dave, and I'm going to give let's skip while Dave still has lights.
Okay. Yes.
So, Dave, was there an item that you had handy or within arm's reach that you wanted to kind of start off?
You know
with?
what? I brought a couple things down that folks probably don't know that I have that I thought you might find interesting. The most recent thing was these boots.
They're made for walking.
They're made for walking, but they were Bomba's boots from Dawn of the Dead.
Oh man,
That's cool.
So there aren't a lot of pieces of wardrobe from the original Don, and he also wore these in Night Riders. So I wound up getting a hold of these like 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, but with COVID, of course, really haven't had a chance to share them with anyone. So I thought that would be an interesting thing the viewers might like to see.
I have a quick question about those, Dave.
Sure.
Were those originally presented as only Night Riders boots, and you had to backtrack? Because I think I remember you saying you had Night Riders boots at one point.
Yeah, when I talked to him, actually, when we were at the last show, or I had the crate at the show, I talked to Bamba about that, and he said he definitely wore them, and you can see them in Dawn. And then he backtracked and said that he had also worn them. Well, he wore them later in Nights, in Night Riders. So yeah, he was allowed to bring his own clothing, some of it anyway, because I guess they didn't provide shoes. Well, those are perfect. You might as well just bring those along too, is what he said happened. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's amazing.
That is cool.
Folks probably have seen the late Terry Cruikshank. This is a fluffy that he made. As far as I know, it's the only one, which is his stuff was amazing. Unfortunately, he's passed, but he used to be at various places, various conventions over the years. I brought this was the test makeup that came out of Tom's studio. I think you know who this is.
Yeah.
Since we were talking about it a little earlier from Tales of the Dark Side episode.
Wow.
I'm not going to take him totally out, but this is Lizzie, a makeup test, soft foam, which is entirely encased in this big pretzel jar. But it's very soft and very pliable and not damageable. Fortunately, a lot of times the harder foam gets rigid and breaks and what have you. But
most people don't know that you can preserve those things in pretzel jars for many decades.
Well, Chris would certainly. I think Chris is the one that suggested, why don't you stick her in the pretzel jar? That's a great idea.
No. It was actually in a pretzel jar in Tom's shop for like 30 years.
Oh, was it? Well, it's the same pretzel jar then, Chris.
Yeah, he just gave you the whole jar.
He just gave me the whole jar.
Is it Snyder's?
For people, go ahead.
Snyder's of Hanover, or what kind of pretzel jar does that matter?
It doesn't. It actually isn't labeled anymore. The label came off, so Tom was nice enough to do that, so we didn't trademark infringe anyone.
Okay, good.
And the last thing, I'm sure you've probably seen this image. This is the original art for this particular poster.
Wow.
That I don't know if folks have seen this, but this has been on all kinds of T-shirts and things.
That's cool.
That's
beautiful.
So awesome.
Yeah, it's different. And of course, I don't know who the artist is. It's signed though.
This looks like one of those.
No, can't tell you. He's going to be real happy. I think it's Wheeler is the name.
Okay, cool.
Somebody Wheeler is the artist. But anyway, I thought you'd get a kick. Just a couple things that I have that I don't usually tote out to the conventions when I come out. But there are a few other things too, but that's good enough for now.
Jeremy Wheeler.
Jeremy Wheeler. Thank you. There you go. Thank you, Chris.
That's why I'm here.
Well, yes. Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last.
Stavro just wanted the pretzels.
Do you remember what kind of pretzels they were, Stavro?
I think they were Utz.
Oh,
and I can't swear to it.
They were probably Utz. Yes. Hanover.
And if we had fun relabeling things at the shop a lot of times, so it probably was changed to Putz at some point.
Christian, can you talk about your time with Tom at all? Working in the shop?
Sure. It was. I was kind of helping Tom between gigs. He was trying to transition into directing and acting, and so it was kind of the early '90s, early to mid '90s, and there wasn't a lot going on. I had just moved into town right after Two Evil Eyes and The Dark Half and everything. And in fact, Silence of the Lambs, I missed it by a couple of months. But there wasn't a whole lot going on. There were a couple of interesting gigs. Like Tom had, I remember there was a gentleman who was in a bad accident and somebody had fallen asleep at the wheel and crashed into this guy's car. And he was badly disfigured. I mean, they put him back together as well as they could, but he was very badly disfigured. And excuse me, we did a life cast of the guy, and Tom actually reproduced and sculpted he did a fiberglass bust with a removable face for the court case to show how badly this guy's skull was damaged and repaired. And it's brilliant. The guy won the case because that visual aid alone was fantastic. But this poor guy, because he'd show you his driver's license, he was a handsome guy, and now he looked like Quasimodo, you know. I think he won millions because of that thing. But that was one of the interesting kind of gigs that Tom had going on. The one that I worked on the most was there was an episode of a show. What the hell was that show called? Ghost Rider. And there was a purple bubblegum monster, a little doll that came to life and became a giant purple monster and scared the crap out of little kids by spitting bubblegum, purple slime at them. And so we had to sculpt the slime monster, the purple chewing gum guy. Chewy Louie, I think was his name. And it's funny because I had no idea that actually was a thing at all. But I see people like, wow, he used to scare the crap out of me as a kid. I was like, people recognize that purple thing? I guess it became kind of popular. But I remember at one point, Tom's shop used to be on Butler Street, which if you look at Butler Street today, it's unrecognizable because back then it was kind of a shit neighborhood. And now it's completely gentrified. There's, little markets and shops and antique stores and stuff. You'd never know to look at the building that was the same building Tom's shop was in. But at one point we were upstairs breaking molds just from past projects, just, nothing significant, but like, there was a show called, what was that one, Dave? You remember it was like Cold Hearts or something like that Tom Vukmanik and the other guys were working on. It was not a short film, but it is kind of like a precursor to Antichrist, like sort of in the same sort of vein. And there were molds for appliances they made for that. We're just pitching all these molds, kind of getting rid of stuff.
I do remember you breaking the molds, yeah.
Well, because I threw a piece on the ground that bounced and hit Tom in the head, and he started bleeding. That's why I had to run away. But people would break into the shop. I remember Little Nemo, the baby in the tank from Day of the Dead, that little creature in the green floating in the liquid. That was at Tom's shop for years, and somebody came up the fire escape, broke in and stole it.
Wow.
Yeah, so but at the right around.
Jason, I'm sorry you were here to hear that.
I was just thinking, I was watching Jason's face and just the color.
I'm just glad I never got caught. Oh,
I know nothing. But right around that same time, Movie Magic they were still producing shows, and they wanted to do a horror show for Halloween. It was the Masters of Horror or something like that, they called it. And so I was Tom's victim, myself and another guy, Chris Martin. We were just kind of helping out, and they said, "Okay, now look busy. Make it look like a busy shop." So we grabbed some clay and sit in the background and kind of sculpt, But it was fun because that was the first time I got shot with squibs. Tom rigged me with squibs, and his.
Is that where you were like shirtless? Had the longer hair?
I was shirtless. Yeah, that's right. I was shirtless because there was a knife gag, a knife sticking out of my back that Tom was rigging, just to show how simple illusions could work. Like easily, this fake knife you can stick in there with blood tubing running out. But I was the victim for that show, and I didn't actually say anything, but it was great fun. And a lot of people saw it and called, like my Uncle George. People saw like, "Boy, you were just on Movie Magic." I didn't realize that many people watched Movie Magic, but everyone saw me and called to say we saw you on TV.
I saw it. There's a link. There's a Movie Magic video of you I found on YouTube, Christian, with Tom, but it's all in Spanish.
I know my Spanish is excellent in that episode.
Yeah. If I find it, I'll put it in the chat for everybody.
There is one. I want to say there was another copy of it with like Dutch subtitles or something. There may be, but it's out there. It's Movie Magic. There's not even a Wikipedia page for Movie Magic because I went to look it up and it's not even there. Like people forget that show existed. There was good stuff. There were some excellent episodes on that show.
I've never heard of it. Can you enlighten me a little bit?
Yeah, it was a Discovery Channel show, and they would talk about different special effects. And of course, it was leading into the Jurassic Park era where everything sort of became computerized. But at the time, there's a lot of still practical effects going on. Like Independence Day, they built huge models of the White House and they would destroy them, But it was amazing. Every show usually focused on one or two different movies and how they were building stuff. One of them had John Vulich and Everett Burrell, Optic Nerve, and they did it was like Hot Shots Part 2 or something like that, where Saddam Hussein is frozen like the Terminator, the T-1000, and he falls over and shatters, And so they showed how they made this fiberglass cast of this guy that fall over and would break, on cue. It was amazing stuff. But yeah, the show's kind of gone the way of the dodo.
How'd you get into sculpting? Just in general, what fascinated you about it?
Watching my brother and Tom just do stuff like that. The Tom's book, he gave me a copy of Grand Illusions when I was like 12, 1983. That book came out, and I was looking at these different sculptures, and I was like, wow. And then you read Fangoria, and you see the stuff behind the scenes. Photographs were wonderful. It's not just blood and rubber and stuff. Somebody has to sculpt these things. And so that's kind of where I got into it. I thought, wow, I should learn to sculpt sort of appliances and a little cast of myself. Life casting your own face is a bitch. Don't try it. I've done it a couple of times. Here's one here, actually. This is the last one I did myself, but this was when I was like 24 or something. Can you see it there? Oh, there it is. Yeah.
You did that by yourself?
By myself, yeah. And that was just... I don't know if I actually used alginate in that one or it was just plaster bandages over my face, but you practice.
How did you breathe?
Practice. You leave the nose open.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you try not to suffocate. But I have another one downstairs where I'm like 15, but then you start sculpting these appliances and you have like wrinkled bags under your eyes or a bigger nose or whatever. And learning to sculpt a piece at a time, eventually you kind of get the feel of how the clay works and what to do. Because of the way I paint, and I painted a lot of models for different people that said, can you build this and paint it for me? I said, sure. I use a lot of dry brushing and washing. And so when I sculpt, I tend to sculpt in a manner that facilitates my painting later on, because I know how it's going to be painted. But yeah, just watching Tasso and Tom and getting into makeup and effects, that's what started me sculpting. And eventually I just started sculpting little busts for myself, really. Yeah. And I was kind of surprised at how well they came out.
I recently went through that process. I'm friends with Jason Baker, who you've had on the show, who's just awesome as well. He said, well, I need a life cast for somebody your size. Do you want to do it? So it's just like hanging around the shop. I'm like, sure. So, but it's a creepy experience because it's kind of like you're losing more and more of your sense at each time. It can be claustrophobic. I got through it and it wasn't too bad, but it's kind of like it can get zen. Would you say it's got to be hard doing it to yourself, Chris? I don't even know how you would attempt that.
That one I cheated. I only did like my face. I didn't really, because you're supposed to have a bald cap if you're doing the whole head or whatever. And there's one downstairs that a couple of students from Tom's school actually cast my face in the barn at the Renaissance Festival because the school's down there. This was many years ago. But they did the whole thing. They glued the cap on and cast not my whole head, but my face too, up like halfway line. But yeah, doing it to yourself it sucks. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. But yeah, I cheated. I didn't use the alginate, which most people do, and you get a very detailed cast. I used just the plaster bandage and pulled it off, and I was able to get kind of a decent a reproduction out of that kind of mold, but not perfect.
Did you do any stunt work with those guys, Christian?
Once there was a zombie movie that will remain nameless.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that Tom is the first 10 minutes of the movie is Tom walking around shooting zombies and killing them in interesting ways. And he said, "Come on out. I need to kick a zombie across the barn." Actually, that was the second time. The first day we shot on that movie, I was just a zombie. I went out to be a zombie. And Jerry Girdley actually glued a squib to the back of my head. I glued it right to my hair. So I actually called Dick Smith later on and said, how the hell do I get this off my head? And he was like, well, you might have to cut your hair. But glued this plate on my head. And it was a helicopter day. So it was a very expensive day because they had this helicopter flying around and people filming from the helicopter and people shooting down at zombies on the ground. And later on, somebody realized that nothing was exposed that day because the person loading the film into the mags had loaded it all in backwards.
Oh God!
So we had to come back and do it again. I don't think I was there for the second helicopter day, but I went back for a stunt, which was that Tom would kick me across the barn as a zombie. I would just kind of appear and growl, and he'd swing on a rope like Tarzan and kick me. And he did that 7 or 8 times. And then Bill Heinzman, who was there, said, "Let me try that," and he kicked me across the barn too, which is fun. But that's my only stunt credit.
Okay, that's cool.
That Tor Ramsey rebuttal to the critique. I've got to read that every few years. It's great.
Even Tor was, there was one producer in particular who she just said, "We're going to do this my way," and they did it her way and didn't make a lot of sense afterwards. But Tor was a decent guy. He was a nice fella. And Jack Russo actually sent me beautiful photographs that somebody had taken on the first day, and you like actually caught the squib exploding on the back of my head. I thought, wow, how cool is that somebody actually snapped that? Because I didn't think to take any pictures.
Those parts you were describing, the helicopter and Tom Savini shooting the zombies for the first 5-7 minutes, that was like the apex of the film. After that, it was like,
that's it. After that sequence, just turned it off. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And there's a great picture. It might have been, I forget who it was. A set photographer. Somebody got a picture of me in the zombie makeup from the first day, but the fucking slate is in front of me, so I can't even lie about what movie it was because somebody's holding,
I think I know the picture I think it's probably the picture I've seen of you in that as the zombie.
Yeah, there were two. There's that one and with the squid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I remember that day I had what's his name? Vinny Guastini was there doing the makeup, and he stuck an appliance on my face, and we took like a plastic bottle, and cut so it looked like glass sticking out of my face. But again, that was all for naught because none of it was exposed except for those two photographs that I ended up with.
Do you have any props from Children of the Living Dead?
I don't. I didn't keep anything. Actually, I still have the appliance. I used to have it. I might have it somewhere in a box. But that thing with the glass sticking out of it, I kept it and put it in a bag just because that was my first official zombie on screen,
Of course.
I have it somewhere.
All right. Well, who wants to go next? Has anybody got anything?
I just want to say quickly, I do have that movie magic. I'll have to put it up online. I didn't know that it was only in other languages, so that's all I'm saying.
Wow.
Oh, Daniel's rocking the VHS. I think I have that VHS too. I never upgraded to a digital video disc.
You ain't missing much.
Is there a Tor Ramsey commentary on there or something?
The first 15 minutes kicks ass.
It had some promise.
Hey, it could be worse. Have you seen Blood-Sucking Pharaohs in Pittsburgh?
Yes. I always wanted to.
I
haven't yet.
I came to visit the set of that. I was on a break. It was like summer break, Easter break or something from school. Because I was still in high school. I came to visit. Tasso was doing stunts, and Tom was doing a lot of effect. And I don't know if this is known by anyone, but it was originally written as Blood Feast 2. And really? Herschel Gordon Lewis wasn't interested in having somebody else make Blood Feast 2, and so they had to change all the names around. But Tasso originally played Fuad Ramses in a flashback, and so Fuad Ramses became Semet Cairo. And they put his scene back in the version that was finally released, which is pretty bad because they edited really badly all the effects out. It was supposed to be a comedy, and the effect, at one point there's a girl hanging out of a car with the top of her head sawed off, and they find the guy's eating Chinese food, and there's a note stuffed into her skull, and he pulls it out with his chopsticks, jokes like that. But they didn't really get it, and so whoever edited this thing was like, just cut out the gory shit, because there is a much bloodier version with the original title, which was Picking Up the Pieces, and it's a better cut of the film. But Tasso's scene, that flashback, is completely gone from that version of the movie. So, if you have a chance to see it once as a curiosity. But I have lots of behind the scenes pictures from that. Jesus, not that anyone wants to see them.
Yeah, well, I'd give maybe to the archive, perhaps.
Yeah, I'll have to donate them.
Yeah,
Jim Bathico was there. Remember that? That's the first time I met him. He was one of the producers, I think.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you been? You haven't reached out to him recently, have you?
I emailed him. What was it for Night Riders? Because he was in Night Riders.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I emailed him again, but it never responded. A very nice man. I don't, just maybe not his thing anymore.
Seems
he
like
did come to that. He came to that Cinema Wasteland in 2000. He was there,
and that was
the only time he ever came to one. Yeah,
that was it. All right. Well, who wants to? Who's got an item handy?
I've got. You want to see this item I've got handy?
Yeah, roll with it.
This is Dave's cue card from Mortal Remains. Because there were certain.
Have my script.
Do you have it?
Yeah.
What is that? His was that just kind of his bullet points there? Or?
It was bullet points, yes. Because that's just make it up as you go, but make sure you mention, Vernon Blake and Culture Shock. Because some people actually memorized their dialogue really kind of well and delivered it precisely as we had written it. Dave was not one of those people, so I had to write the cue card. He did a great job delivering the dialogue, but mostly what we did for that movie was just kind of write a synopsis of what they were supposed to know about this guy, and then make up the rest as if it was a memory and not just improvising off the cuff. But there were certain points that we had to hit for certain characters. And so, Dave, I just emphasized those, like whatever you say, make sure you mention that stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
That's a whole different can of worms.
What's that picture behind you, Chris?
That's Ryan Carr drew that.
That's Ed. Yeah.
That's cool.
Night Riders.
Yeah, beautiful sketch from Night Riders that Ryan Carr, our artist in residence, drew.
Yeah, that's I'm always anytime he's got a print of something that just reminds me of one of our shows, I want to pick it up.
Hold on, let me show you this. He gave me this one. I saw him. He was posting it on Instagram or somewhere. I said, I think I have to buy that one. He said, no, I just gave it to me. I was like, oh Christ! But it's a beautiful sketch of.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh, very nice.
Oh,
yeah.
And that's the original. He just whips these things out on. It was like a cereal box or something.
Oh, nice!
Yeah. Wow,
very good. Did he even have that on? Did he even post that one?
I don't remember if he did. I think he posted it somewhere, but.
That's nice.
Yeah, beautiful sketch. And I said, I think I have to buy that one. He said, no, he just gave it to me. I was like, Jesus God, okay. But he's a hell of an artist, that guy. Yeah.
I'm going to have you negotiate my next purchase with Ryan. How about let's Jason, you've been quiet. Let's talk about yourself a little bit, Jason. What
I'm just sitting here making sure that my internet's keeping up with you all.
It's a little choppy
down here in Florida. I think it's a little slow or something.
It's good for the moment, though. You're a we've had you on before. We know you're a day aficionado, but talk about what it your specialty. Talk about what it is you do.
Yeah, just a little. Well, so my thing is just Day of the Dead. I love Day of the Dead. I love all that stood out to me from the rest. I don't know if it's because it was that film that was a little darker than most, maybe the Underdog. But it's still the movie that I go to once a week. I have to throw it on, and it's that comfort background. So I guess since I was a kid, I said that once I got to a certain age, once I started making some money, that I would start trying to collect whatever I could find in the movie. So that's what I've been doing for the past 13 years, is really just getting on my hands on anything that I could find Day of the Dead related.
So you had that intent. So it's like, most people kind of stumble into it. You were just, you were like, no, fuck that. I'm getting that shit.
Yeah. Well, from a young kid being raised in Kentucky being a young kid raised in the hollers of Kentucky, you have no access to anything at all. So if you want something, you got to get out and go get it. And so that's what I've been doing.
You have some access to some good bourbon down there.
Kentucky
and horses.
Some good bluegrass music and some college basketball.
You don't sound like you from no Kentucky like me.
You don't look like you're from Kentucky, boy.
That's right.
Sorry, going off a tangent here.
You better pray good.
And hard.
Sorry, wrong movie.
And I try to, I've been down there. I've seen what you're working on, but I don't really think anybody can kind of understand until they've seen it themselves. But you have, in my estimation, the Day of the Dead collection, and I'll stack it up against anybody. And I haven't even seen it.
I appreciate that.
What I think what really tips it all off is that you know the artwork that you do, the set piece artwork that just kind of gives it that whole museum vibe. You know, that's what you see in museums. You see miniatures, and things like that accompany the exhibits. So you got like the whole thing working there, but you need to sell some tickets.
Yeah. Well, you know, the way I see it is, if you're gonna get the stuff, you might as well display it and show it, you know, in a really nice way. And that's what I've been doing, is just you know, trying to make these things look really nice whenever I get them. It was funny because the last time I was on the show, I only had one display case, and I was talking to you all about me trying to get a second display case, and now I'm on my third display case. So I'm trying to sweet talk into the wife about that. But yeah, so it's just, you know, if you have these things, you might as well just display them and give them the respect that they deserve, instead of throwing them in a closet and just forgetting about them.
Well, tell Bobby that we approve of the purchase of a third display case.
Yeah.
And if she has any questions, she can talk to us about it, but you got our approval.
Can you guys even hear me?
We can.
We can now.
Yeah. No, you're good. It's just a little delay. It's fine though. We're keeping up with you.
Okay.
Well, his equipment's been rotting down there since the Second World War.
No, and I want to say, Jason, what you basically just said. You like to get.
I don't think that'd be a problem. I think she thinks highly of you two.
Well, we appreciate that. So
Very, very big delay.
I think Dad has something to say.
He's
There's a
Dave.
button.
No,
You got a
he's controlling his mute now. He's
Okay.
good.
You have one of these, Jason?
We give
That's
him
the
10
pin.
seconds.
When the movie came out, it was the pin. Oh, that's right. He's got a delay. He's coming.
Chris,
from Mars.
he's on relays, not live.
He's on relays.
The shopping malls are closed. What do you expect?
They have knob and tube internet down there.
I want to say this for when Jason does indeed get the message, and I'll say this is I'm more of a near mint collector. I like things that are in use. I like to use them. I like to play them. I will ruin something that's mint, so I don't want it that way. I want to use it. Whereas Jason is a mint guy. He does it right. He gets the expensive framing. He does it right, man. And I applaud that, man.
Should I leave for a second and try coming right back? See if that helps.
Why not? Yeah. Go ahead. Yes. But yeah, no. I mean, it's for that reason. I like things that have been used, been touched. I can't keep things mint, so I don't want to buy them that way.
My thing is I don't want to make it any worse than the condition I bought it in. If I can buy something in as good a condition as I can, as long as I don't make it worse, I'm okay with something being used, as long as it's something that I want and it's got some sort of meaning for me.
Mm-hmm. What you guys take
well
on
said.
that?
Well said.
I buy whatever.
I just bought a Day of the Dead Japanese program on eBay for like $10 or something, because it was some person listing it had it as Evil Dead.
That's the best.
I know it's the best.
when they list it wrong, that's always a bargain, folks.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
for the wrong listings. Search, and like I was talking to Matt the other night on all the variations he does for like his Blair Witch searches to find the incorrect listings. I mean, yeah, you gotta be sneaky.
I found a Night of the Living Dead. I think it was like a Super 8 trailer, and they listed it as Night of the Dead.
Oh my God.
And so it's like, and no one else bid on it.
Nice.
Oh, jeez.
I used to find all kinds of good alien stuff because people didn't know how to spell alien.
They put the I and E backwards.
ALEIN. I was like, oh yeah, that's some amazing stuff.
All right, Jason's come in via another stream. We're gonna let's give him a second to connect here.
Don't cross the streams.
Up. Okay. Up. Jason? There's a delay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He's had a little of that Kentucky bourbon, looks like.
Got that Kentucky internet.
It's still rerouted through Kentucky. It comes back.
Oh.
Yeah, it's dial up.
56.
It's a little better now.
It comes and goes.
I mean,
you've got mail.
Oh my!
All right.
Jason's got some sick work though, man. I'm trying to get my hands on a thing or two from him.
Captain Dan, what's next?
I would advise everybody on this video and as well anybody watching get in contact with Jason and
plunder his museum.
Give him some money so he can get better internet.
Well, I'll say
Just
real quick. I'll go ahead and show you this. This is something I got from Jason.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
That's so nasty.
Ooh,
That's awesome.
Beautiful, nasty.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Jason, how long?
Jason,
did it
you
take
built
to make
that?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Yeah, that was handmade.
wow. Great job.
Whoop! Don't want to show that side.
Yeah, that's
Whoop.
amazing.
Does it have cobwebs at the top?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
It's genius.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, Jason does really good work, as you can see, and it's Jason, you mostly concentrate on just stuff like this, like buildings, models, and such.
It really just kind of depends on what I'm in the mood for.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes as artists, you try branching out, trying different things instead of getting in the same routine where you just get bored with the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah. Actually, I'll share this real quick too. I just got this from Clay guy at Spooky Empire. It's just
He doesn't have that on his site. I went and looked for it.
Send him a message. Send him a message. He might have one.
Yeah, I will.
Oh wow!
That's awesome.
I see him in almost every show I go to everywhere.
Really?
I-
Okay.
Yeah,
I've never seen
I've
him
got one
before.
of Barry's old ones here too. I don't know if he still makes this one.
Hang on. Let me. Sorry.
He's been doing it a long time.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
That looks a lot like that. I don't know if he designed it after that float. It looks just like the float.
I remember that float. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
before, it had to be Monster Bash or somewhere like 20 years ago. I bought this thing. He signed it on the bottom. Nice guy. I love Barry.
Yeah.
He's got I know he's got a Bub and he has a Bill Heinzman. I'd love to get the others at some point.
They were pretty reasonable too, especially if you got them unpainted. It wasn't too bad.
That's what I got. Yeah, I bought him in kit form and just built it myself and painted him.
Yeah,
It's fun.
that's nice. Oh, who did we lose?
Well, lost
Someone
Kentucky.
must have called Jason at home and
Oh,
kicked him off.
bumped him off. Oh, yeah.
His mom picked up the phone.
Mom, I'm on the internet.
You get booted off.
There's
how,
Pat.
Oh, there he is.
Maybe.
how about you, Matt? You got something handy?
I got a couple things handy. Jason, are you frozen or? I mean, that was.
I'm back now.
Okay.
Here, Jason, why don't you go ahead and share what you've got handy?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'll share some stuff really fast if you guys can hear me.
yeah,
Yep.
you're
We
good.
got you.
So I was just on the show maybe like a year ago. So I don't want to show too much of the stuff that I already had then. But some of the most recent stuff that I've gotten here in the past year, I'll start with this piece right here. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what it is until I kind of move it around a little bit. But this is from Day of the Dead.
Oh, okay.
This is the actual shovel blade that was used in the film when Sarah McDermott escaped through the cave. There was actually two of these. So you had this one right here, the full one, and then you had the other that was actually cut in half. And the one that was cut in half was the one that went over the zombie's mouth. And McDermott pops the head off and it just rolls. So this is the styrofoam. This is the other one that he uses to knock over the ninja zombie, and he does the flip in the air.
And the wood deteriorated or whatever for the handle.
It just became disassembled with it. It just got lost over a period of time because that had actually been sitting in a barn since the production of the film in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
How'd you score that?
Just kind of rotting away. I don't ever give my secrets away. I can't give my I can't give the my suppliers' names away like a drug dealer, you know.
Yeah.
But it was from someone that worked directly on the film.
Well, see, this is you're the person I'd have to ask. I was just thinking the other day, who's got the calendar? Remember the original calendar? It was on the wall with the picture of the pumpkin patch.
Is that
I've
date or was it Halloween?
Well, see, I've sit there and I've interviewed a lot of people that have worked on the film, and no one knows, no one even really remembers too much about that calendar. And the funny thing is, you can go to Google and do a Google image search of the calendar of that image, and it doesn't recognize anything. So it's so hard to tell. It really is. But that would be an awesome piece to have. I would actually build, if I was able to find that calendar, I would probably paint one of my walls and do huh?
Oh, I forgot about the delay.
Oh.
I think in the last video that I saw of you, you had like a
I think I got a delay. Yeah. Yeah, I would do a styrofoam wall and have that on there.
I don't know how much of a delay.
Oh no, that's a Bub. That is an actual copy of Bub's face appliance from the mold.
Oh, that's awesome.
Who had that? Did you get that from Savini when you went to school there, or?
He's got a delay.
So it's an 8-second delay.
No, I actually got that from, again, I don't like giving names away, but someone that worked really close to Tom Savini that worked right beside of him in a bunch of movies.
Cool.
Nah, much respect, man. We got you on that. Did you have another item you wanted to share, Jason?
Yeah, let's see. So this is actually kind of cool. This is commentary. So I got a bunch of these continuity. I'm sorry, not commentary, continuity sheets from Day of the Dead. Oh, cool. There's about 500 Polaroids, and this actually came from this is actually from someone that worked on the wardrobe side. And actually right here is here's Tasso and one of his right there with his Polaroid. And it's really cool because if anyone knows me, it's because I like all the stuff behind the scenes. Behind the scenes is where everything's at, because that's where all the magic is, where everything happens. And it's just really cool. Over 5 all the scenes and everything with a bunch of the zombies from the Wample Mine to Sanibel Island.
The cool thing about those, Jason, is you let me flip through those while I was down there, and honestly, man, those things were exhaustive. I mean, it was. I want to say there was like, I don't even know how many binders there were of those, but
yeah,
the coolest thing about those is that they had the notes, they had the people's names and all the information, all that stuff. It's. I mean, you got the entire history right there, man. It's amazing.
And what's really cool too is whenever you're looking at these pages and you can still see where some of the fake blood is on the pages from certain scenes. Oh yeah, it's really awesome. But yeah, there's it's just really cool because it's got a bunch of people's names and stuff in there, and it's just, you know, you go back in time, like right there, you see the ballerina zombie.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have her name or anything up here, but that's really cool, you know? Because it says Rhodes Steel. I guess that was in that scene. And then here's just.
Hey, Matt.
Hey.
I didn't do that.
No, I think he just dropped off.
Oh, did he fall off?
Yeah, I don't see him in the green room.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I went down there. It's just exhaustive. It's just, he keeps pulling out Tupperware. It's just like, oh, dude, get this. Yeah. Can you get this in a museum now? Stat and like hire.
But he doesn't have one of these.
Nice. I don't think anybody does, except for you and Susanna Sparrow.
I've never seen that, Christian. I've never seen that.
Let's settle this tonight, Christian. Who's Susanna Sparrow? Come on.
She was a real person, apparently.
Really?
But I think somebody told me it's a pseudonym. It was an established writer, and they just used Susanna Sparrow as a pen name.
No,
but it's a real person.
My vote is Tabitha King.
You think?
Could be.
Could be.
Oh, yeah. I
mean, doubtful.
Too early.
Because Susanna Sparrow wrote the novel of Martin also, which was 77, I think it was published.
And Day of the Dead, which you own.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It practically doesn't.
Does it have the photos in the middle? Like I feel violated.
I just keep it on my shelf to freak special people out when I know they go to the shelf and go, "Wow, I didn't know that." You know, that's
You April Fooled us on
invited
a posted a picture of the trilogy.
I hope Jason's still watching.
Oh yeah, I have. Wait, let me see.
Yeah, no, the trilogy of novels, which it's impossible to collect.
Yeah, the hardcover Night of the Living Dead is really hard to find too. Yeah, but this really is the novel of Day of the Dead. It's a Japanese novel. That's the only place it was ever published.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I thought they did.
That's got to be
this one in Germany.
Dawn. They did a Dawn version in Germany.
I have the Dawn German. I thought they might have done a Day, but I probably
okay.
And this one, I haven't had anyone asked to translate it yet, but I think Norman England told me about part of it. That the first chapter, I got people to sign it, of course, but the first chapter is from the point of view of a zombie who's talking about how he escaped from a farmhouse and wandered past a shopping mall. It's clear this zombie is supposed to be Ben, who's come back as a zombie, and he's walking down past the shopping mall, and he ends up in Florida, and that's kind of how the prologue to the story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that's quite the collector's item there, I'm sure. Never seen
I had two of these. I had two of them, and I gave one to Greg Nicotero, who gave it as a gift to his one of his buddies from high school.
I think, let's see. Jason's back. Jason.
Yeah, I'm back. I think it's a little better now.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think
it
so
is.
too. Yeah, take over for a minute. Let's do
Jesus.
this.
My apologies, guys. Why do I always feel like I apologize every time I come onto your
No,
show?
you're good. It's worth it. It's worth the wait, man.
All right, so what did I miss?
No,
Dave
Day of the
got
Dead
records, it was
hardback.
crazy.
Yeah, Christian
Oh
has
yeah,
a Day
hold
of
up.
the Dead
Yeah,
hardback.
yeah. Chris, show him the
Okay.
Day of the Dead hardback real quick.
Oh yeah, it's very hard to find. The hard, yeah.
You got one
yeah.
of those, Jason?
I'm waiting. I got a delay, of
Yeah.
course.
Fuck.
Yeah,
No.
just when I think we're looking better.
You were sharp right off the jump.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh,
Ah,
Lost him
All right,
again.
Jason. Ah.
all right, man. You got it. Daniel, you got an item handy you want to
I
share?
grabbed a couple of things. I
Let's
actually
go with it.
been so busy, brother. Let's see. I
Oh,
just grabbed a
beautiful,
few
dude.
things.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
it. Love
Look at that.
This is a new acquisition here,
it. Love it.
signed by the man himself.
Ah,
I fell in love with it and said, "Daggone it, I want it." And then I brought it to him and said, "Sign it." And he said, "I will." Now it's mine.
who saw that?
So I just got some. I just brought some creep show stuff out tonight. So I'll do just a couple things. So I'll go quick with it. This was an eBay find. It was used, and I guess I got it right as the person posted this for $5. Like
Oh, nice.
So
Wow.
I got
Japanese?
John to sign it. I got John to sign it. It's OG, and I didn't have anything Tales from the Dark Side signed, so I had this record. So I'll call this Creep Show 3. I got Remore a few months ago, had him sign it, and I got it on it.
nice.
So finally got that going.
Oh,
Nice.
Two more things, and if we have time, I'll dig around. But wife told me to get this for her, so this is my wife's. My wife loves Creep Show, loves it. Got an OG
Crew shirt.
The crew shirt, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
OG
I
crew
gave
shirt.
one of those to Dave. At one point, Tom let me go through this bag in his attic of all these old cruise shirts. Tom doesn't wear T-shirts, so he said, "Hey,
Yeah.
you want these?" And I'm going to this Day of the Dead, Creep Show. I'm like, Jesus God! I ended up trading them or giving most of them away, and I gave mine to Dave because I think I owed him some money.
Hey,
yes, you.
folks like
Yes,
us
you
will take
did.
out the money. Yeah. This is a
Yes, you
new.
traded.
This is something neat I got. I'll pull it up in a second. I got this from Gornick at Living Dead Weekend. And originally what he told me was that this was drawn by, I think, Phil Wilson. And after doing research, it was actually drawn by Gary Hartle, I believe is the artist's name. But this is the OG Creep Show 2 comic book artwork.
Oh wow,
Wow.
Nice.
Man.
that's super cool.
He signed the plastic cover. He didn't sign the actual art. Light sucks in here because of the damn almost stupid screens from work. But
There you go.
Wow.
Wow.
is-
That's awesome.
I saw that and I said, "That's gonna be mine."
I like it. That's beautiful.
Yeah, very cool.
That,
And,
that was also they used that as the cover for the storyboards. They handed out packets of storyboards to everybody.
Yeah, I thought it was Phil the whole time, and Phil said, "Nope, it wasn't me. It was Gary." I want to give GARF Network a quick, cool shout out for bringing Daniel on and
Beautiful.
pointing us in the right direction. It was nice opening up the mail one day, having a signed copy from him.
Nice.
with this
Nice.
book. So, shout out to Daniel if he's out there watching.
Daniel, do you know who the artist is for Fluffy?
Tom.
Oh, it's Tom. No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, Tom sculpted that himself.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, I love it.
Didn't he have a line of those busts? Well, he had like different ones too. Didn't he?
He was casting. He did the Universal monsters first. He did
Yeah, I remember the Phantom.
Frankenstein first. I have the Phantom out on my porch here, the first one out of the mold because I helped him make these big molds. The Phantom. He did the Dracula eventually, Bela Lugosi, and then he did Frankenstein first, and then because Karloff's face was already there, he did Ardeth Bay next.
Mhm.
He did the Mummy, and then it was. And then he did Creep Show, or I'm sorry, Creatures in the Black Lagoon.
Oh, that's
Which,
cool. I haven't seen
yeah.
his version of that.
Yeah, it's a big, and he was casting these things in stone and plaster. And like, they had weighed like 50 pounds a piece, but he was lugging these things to conventions and selling them off his table. Sometimes he would trade them for stuff, but they were massively heavy. And so somebody, I guess, finally licensed these and is producing them now in light.
Yeah, this is Trick or
Fiberglass
Treat.
resin.
This is Trick or Treat Studios. It's It's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be, and it's a lot heavier. And I had to buy it just to get it signed. I was at another show before Living Dead weekend, and it was a local show here where I'm at in North Carolina, and I knew the vendor, and this was one of the first shows that really ran in this area after COVID, and there wasn't a lot of people there. And I saw my buddy was there, and he had that, and he had a Kandarian dagger from Evil Dead, and a couple other things I wanted to scoop from him. So I was like, "What kind of deal can you work me out? You ain't gonna carry all this stuff back home, yeah?" I wink, nudged him, and he cracked. So I got some good deals on that stuff.
Tom did a House of Wax when I went over to the studio the one day. He has a Vincent Price House of Wax sculpture that I don't know if they licensed it or he was just doing it for his personal collection, but he put it up on his Instagram. You guys should definitely check that one out. It's really awesome.
My buddy Brian Mcguire did a bust of Professor Jared too from House of Wax. I painted one for his one of his customers, I guess, but a beautiful job. And the one Tom did is excellent too. It's got glass eyes and everything.
Yeah, if you're watching and you haven't checked out Brian Mcguire, reach out to him. Him and like Chris was saying, he and Chris work together, and he works with Jason Baker and Tom, and he is a phenomenal sculptor. And I don't think he gets the credit. He does stuff for Halloween Horror Nights and Universal, and he'll sell you a cool cast bust for a decent amount of money. He just loves doing it. He's a true artist in that sense. So
he's a really, really good artist and a really good guy. Mm-hmm. And I'm proud to know him. So I hope he's watching.
Hope you're watching, Brian.
Hey, Jace, let's shift to you for a minute. You got a couple items, Andy?
I do. The first thing that I'll talk about is I did the Kickstarter for this.
Yeah.
Night of Living Tapes by, is it Jeff Turner?
Yeah. Oh.
And it came with a whole bunch of stuff, like a separate checklist book and a bunch of stickers and like a digital download card. And a
VHS copy of Night of the Living Dead.
Well, I just so happened to get this the same day.
Nice.
And
yeah, man.
I never owned this, and I've only seen part of the way, and I have a collection of Night of the Living Dead tapes, and so it's just funny that the same day that my book showed up.
The VHS market right now is going
it's crazy.
Insane. I can't believe
the checklist is really cool. Like all the covers.
He's got a heck of a lot
international too.
Yeah.
Do you have the Dwight Jones cover? I found that one in the wild.
Dwight Jones, yeah.
No. You were I'm still waiting on it. That was for me.
You can come get it. It's still yours, babe.
I do have a couple foreign posters that say George A. Kramer on it.
George Kramer, yeah.
And they have R. Burr.
Yep.
Like Raymond Burr's in Night of the Living Dead.
Well, Randy Burr was in Night of the Living Dead, but obviously he's one of the stars of the movie now.
Yeah. But what's awesome about this book is that it's chronicling all the releases, like all the different distributors that released all the different versions, and I was very impressed. And it starts off talking about the actual original theatrical release, so it was more comprehensive than I'd hoped. And so this is just a weird addition. But another thing that I got recently is a 16 millimeter TV spot of Dawn.
Wow.
And it's funny because I used to own one of these and I sold it because I've got this one that has like 5 spots on it. And so I might have bought the same one again. And I'm okay with that. This is like the 60-second spot, like the longer spot. And I've sent this thing out to like 2 different companies to get it digitized, and they keep sending it back saying we can't do it.
Wow.
Like they're afraid of copyright or something. And it's like there's never any communication. Like I did it through Kodak and through another company where like you order a box and pack it up and ship it out. And I've been, because I just want to have a digital copy.
I know some people in Apex, North Carolina, Jace. PM me after this. I'll see if I can.
I will. Okay, awesome. Yeah, because I'll definitely have this too. And so, that's pretty much it. As far as Romero stuff. I mean, I got showed this off earlier, my Dr. Butcher MD sculpt
Nice.
from Trick or Treat.
Oh, I forgot
Nice.
to run. I'll have to run and grab my airport zombie. I forgot to do that.
Yeah, this is like the third one in the series that I got. Like I've got the Fulci zombie and the airport zombie, and the sculpts are by William Paquette, and really good quality.
He's another fantastic sculptor, Bill Paquette. He did kits back. It had to be the early 90s, 91 and 92, but he did a kit of a full figure of Bub holding a foot.
Cool.
He did a Dr. Tongue, amazing Dr. Tongue resin kit. And he did Nate coming out of the ground, Creep Show with the tombstone. Did some amazing stuff back in the day, Bill. He's still sculpting amazing shit.
Jason, you want to take another crack at it?
I think I'm here this time, but I don't want to jinx anything.
Yeah, let's try. Are you good? Do you have anything? You are coming in good. Do you have something within arm's reach?
Well, it was kind of funny because last time I was on the show, my cell phone didn't work, and so I had to use the laptop. So I said, well, this time I'll just use my laptop and not my cell phone. So now I'm using my cell phone.
You're razor sharp, man.
Yeah.
Let's ride this wave.
So you got the shovel, and then you saw the continuity sheets, and then there's one other thing that I recently just got, and it's the original.
No,
The Ritz.
that's cool.
That's
That's awesome.
That's the original Ritz sign.
Lovely, man.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I mean, that needs to go over the doorway that enters into that room, man.
Oh, I already have a acrylic display case for it. It actually goes above the TV because every time when I put the movie on, I always, at that one moment when McDermott goes up the steps and he says the Ritz, it's just like a surreal moment, knowing that when this movie came out, I was, I mean, to think about how long this has been around, and I was only a year old when this movie came out. It's just crazy to think that I'm actually holding that sign from the film.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your office or just a spare room, bedroom, theater room?
This is pretty much, I call it the day room or the day den, because it's nothing but Day of the Dead stuff from head to toe. I have literally every single poster, every poster that's ever been printed for Day of the Dead. So it's pretty much one big dedicated room. And then in the center, I have my work table where I do all my artwork. So I'm kind of around what it is that I enjoy every single day, which is Dave.
Real quick, Jason, are you able to share any of your day art? Do you have any of that handy that's shareable?
Yeah, actually, let's see, I got this one up here, the corral.
Yeah, man,
that's awesome.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's up there, and there's the Bub. Whoever was asking for Bub, right there, and then the zombie background mask. Oh, and then Lowery's shirt. That's something.
Oh, if you need it.
Okay, she told me she got rid of it. I was wondering who got it. Now I know.
You knew who got it.
Nice.
When in doubt, ask Jason.
Yeah, just call Jason because he's already got it.
Actually, this is the most recent item that I got, and I absolutely love it. That right there is Cletus Anderson concept drawing.
Ooh, wow.
Oh
wow.
Shit! Is that what the original from the original script though?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's gnarly.
That's awesome.
But now you can see why I'm asking for a third display case, because I'm starting to run out of room.
You currently are sitting on the day Graceland.
maybe one day, I know me and Eric joke about this, but maybe one day I'll go down to Fort Myers and open up a little shop right there.
You need to, dude, because I mean, I don't even say this. I don't joke around when I say this, man. Like, I mean, I knew you owned a couple things, but when I went down there and you keep pulling out the Tupperware, and I was like, holy shit, man, the magnitude of what you're sitting on. I mean, it's a museum. It's a museum.
I'm really lucky. That's the thing. And it's just crazy to think that, like I said, this stuff's, I mean, to think about just how old this stuff is and it's still in existence. That to me is like the coolest fucking thing ever, is that these things are still out there. It's just trying to find them and give them a good home. Just, save them. Because I've heard stories before, people going and just throwing things away because they just say, well, I don't need it anymore. And it's like, man, like you should have just, given that to someone.
You want to hear the heartbreaker? Remember that scarf that George used to wear, his lucky scarf?
Don't say it.
That's what Suze asked him one day, where's that scarf? And he said, I threw it out.
Fucking A, bro. Ooh.
I guess it was just too much bad juju, and George didn't want it around anymore. And threw it out. So if you want to go rooting through landfills in Canada, you might get lucky.
Was it by that time, you think, when he threw it out?
He was up there already, I think. Yeah. I think. I don't think it was here, but
yeah,
because I think she had seen it and it was around there. And one day she said, "Where's that scarf you used to have?" And I said, "I threw it out."
I think Bush probably got elected. He threw it out.
Probably, yeah.
Does anybody else have anything handy? Or Matt,
I got some. I got some
Why don't
stuff.
you roll with it. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So earlier this year from England, I ended up with one of Robert Joy's IDs from Fiddler's Green.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
From Land of the Dead. So I got to represent some Land of the Dead love here.
He doesn't have the makeup yet, though.
No, he doesn't. It was an early one, and then after shooting, they kind of switched him out. So later in the film, he'll have it with the makeup on it. But yeah, this was an early one, and they swapped it out
Prior to his injury, obviously.
Correct. Yeah, he must have been working for Kaufman for a while, and
yeah.
And I'm kind of glad Jason is back on, and because I know he's going to appreciate this, and this is staying safe here. But I also have a Cletus Anderson original concept art.
Wow,
that's beautiful.
That's a lunchroom, or
wow, yeah,
like a tribunal.
Yeah.
So you can see they're kind of like the cave walls are here, and then there's one spotlight coming down, and you can kind of see where they're at. So
It's really cool.
In Jason's mind, I'm just holding on to it until it gets down to his house at some point.
I already put a curse on you, if you remember.
Yeah, I know. I got this at Living Dead weekend, and Jason saw it, and I never feared for my life more than walking with an original Cletus Anderson day drawing next to Jason as I have in my entire life. So that was
Matt fell off the balcony. It's the weirdest thing.
It was weird. Where'd Matt go? I don't know.
Jason put the thinner curse on him. That's why he's losing all his weight.
Oh, damn it. I meant to mention that at the top of the program. We should have acknowledged that, though. Congratulations, Matthew. Over the course of the past 12 months, I mean, 55, 60 pounds we're talking about.
70.
Fucking
You're half the man you used to be.
Good look. Exactly.
Yep.
At least a third.
Yeah. So I was at 260 and now I'm at 189. So
wow, brilliance.
Yeah. So well done. And because of the weight loss, this last item that I brought, I can actually enjoy. Not that I'm really going to, but I did at least once. Mike Gornick's crew shirt.
Yeah, that's awesome.
From Dawn.
Wow.
And I've always wanted an original shirt with this print on it, and I was like, I'm not paying it. Mike had it, and I was like, I got to get this. And I snagged it. I couldn't let it go. And I keep the picture that Mike had with it, with him wearing it. He said he only wore it for the crew photo, and then it's been in his closet for 40 some years. So
wow.
For the price you paid for it, Matt, I mean, it was like you had to consider murdering you in the parking lot. I mean, it's Jesus, dude.
I hate myself a little bit because I hesitated for more than like 12 seconds, and
better be glad I wasn't there for that, bro.
Yeah,
that was being at the perfect place at the right time, because anyone else would have jumped right on that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I got it. And the funny thing was, is like I took it back to the hotel and I was like, that's a large. Maybe a 70s large is a little bit smaller, but I put it on. I'm like, oh my God, it actually fits. So I
saw your belly button.
Yeah, the fits in quotation marks.
I didn't know your belly button was pierced.
It was a belly shirt from the 80s, but you know what? It fit, damn it. But yeah, it's been a lighter year for me in terms of the Romero stuff because I haven't been catching that much stuff. I mean, I've gotten, all the, we went overseas and I spent, a good chunk of money on some of the Blu-rays and stuff from overseas. And, I think I have like north of like 80 some copies of Dawn of the Dead across various countries and formats and everything. So I was like, well, I got to get some of these. And I know
was that the France 4K?
No, this isn't the 4K is, I didn't grab the 4K.
What is the France Blu-ray?
The France Blu-ray.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know Jason has this Day of the Dead.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That's cool.
That's beautiful, man.
That's brilliant
awesome.
artwork.
I mean, it comes with, with some of the like.
Jason has the real photos of this.
Yes,
then it opens up to this.
Polaroids.
Yeah,
Is that 4K or Blu-ray?
It's a Blu-ray.
I think the coloring right there is so beautiful with the red.
Yeah.
That's what sticks out about it.
Is that German?
French.
Okay.
Yeah. We got these from ESC in France because they've just been like pumping Romero stuff out kind of like left and right over the last like year and a half. I got a zombie 4K upstairs, but then I was like, oh, Monkey Shines.
Oh.
And it's just like stuff like this that I've been looking for. ESC, it's from France.
France, okay.
Well, that's cool.
It's the monkey's kind of embossed on the cover and everything. It's pretty much the same thing as the Shout Factory, but again, just this cover art and all this stuff. There might be an extra feature or two on here that I probably haven't watched yet, but just stuff like that is what I've been looking for. Like all year. I love to buy multiple copies of the movies just because I love the artwork or it's something slightly different. But yeah, I mean that's been my biggest Romero purchases over the last year. I'm a little bit particular. I should dive in and fill some of the gaps, but it's more the quality for me than it is the quantity. There's some new stuff that I haven't gotten that's been out. Trick or Treat put out like that Roger pillow. I was like, I should get that or a mask or something. But then I'm like, well, for the price of that, I can buy 2 more Blu-rays of this movie I already have 30 some copies of. So I tend to just buy the Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff because I love the artwork on them. I love how they continually update the artwork and everything. And I got this the last time we saw was finally I got this version of Martin on VHS, and it's got the gatefold cover on it. And I was like, So thank you, Mr. Eric, for that.
That's cool.
That was nice,
I honestly, was that still in the cellophane? I don't even think I realized.
It was not, but you never watched it.
I don't think I realized. Well, I have 2 copies. I don't think I realized that even had a gatefold on it.
I didn't either. I was like, Anchor Bag was doing gatefold covers on their VHS tapes. So
that's sweet.
Yeah, it's digitally mastered from a Virgin 35 millimeter print.
Whatever.
That's what it says. I don't know.
I have that one.
Did Michael Felcher write that description?
Yeah. He probably did. But no, I mean, it's just stuff like that. I tend to look every day. I try to find obviously more Bruiser stuff, more Land stuff. Obviously, I mean, actually right here, I got it. I think before, but I don't show it all that much. But it's a crew hat, a crew beanie from Survival of the Dead.
Yeah, man,
that's
was
cool.
That's the one from that. Well, no. The auction. The auction was the Land of the Dead, right?
No, this was from the auction from Felcher.
Yeah,
it was Survival. Okay.
Yeah, it was.
For some reason, I remember that as a Land of the Dead.
Yeah, that was a. I can't thank people enough for helping me acquire that because of what survival means for me. And everything, and there's not a lot of survival stuff. So survival and Bruiser,
where survival material will be way rarer, much rarer.
Most of it would either be marketing or straight production. There's not a lot of stuff out there that I've come across. So I mean, if it's Bruiser, Survival, Land, Dawn, but I've been trying to look more dark half stuff, like since we've been going and doing our location stuff out in Pittsburgh, I've grown a stronger affinity for the dark half.
Did anybody ever buy the The car was listed a long time
No,
ago.
no, it's
The
a
Tornado?
friend of mine
Yeah.
still owns that car.
Oh, cool.
Your friend is a high-tone son of a bitch. 'cause-
I never reached out to that high-tone son of a bitch.
He was, I tell you what, he was lucky because the garage that car was stored in went up in flames, and everyone was like, "Well, there were a lot of people's cars were stored in there, valuable old cars that were damaged or ruined, and his was not one of them. It was just some smoke damage, but that was it."
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run through some stuff real quick. This is a Season of the Witch.
Spanish.
What's it, Spanish Blu-ray. It's pretty much a port of the
La Bruja.
La Bruja. Port of the what was it, the Arrow set. Here's kind of a. This was not actually some of the.
That's cool.
This
Yeah,
was
wow.
a similar to that Arrow set, but from France, I want to say, and some of the films are actually 16:9 as opposed to full frame. There's some really cool artwork.
I
in
like that
here.
artwork. Yeah.
Yeah, this was really neat. Yeah. And,
Ooh.
Weren't you
cool.
initially passing on that?
well, when you order overseas, it's you go ahead and
Yeah.
order an extra. Yeah, it's a $60. It's $100 order now.
Who
Yeah.
did all the artwork for that? It's always vanilla. Who did all that artwork, like for the Hungry Wives poster and all that?
Oh, do you have any idea, Matt? Or I'm sorry, Christian, who did that artwork? You talking about that original poster?
Yeah,
Daniel?
like what you just
Yeah, man.
opened. Yeah, I wonder if
Yeah,
you
man.
did that.
Do you have any idea about that? Christian?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Like
I'm
the
wondering if
scratch.
George did it.
The scratch kind of artwork, like on the inside.
Yeah.
Matt, you didn't show this, but you picked up this as well. The
Oh, yes, I did.
Ooh.
Knight Rider's German digipack.
Yeah.
Digibook.
Digipack.
Has that got the 8mm footage on it?
It
That
had,
version?
it had no. I think you're thinking about the UK
I
blue,
can't
but
remember.
it's got no. I don't
nice.
think as far as the contents, there's anything too special. It's just the packaging is nice. I've got this. Geez, I want to say this is also a Spanish version of Martin.
That's
on
Spanish.
Blue.
That's
Yep.
cool.
It appeared to be pretty much a. Damn it.
That's good.
There you go.
Appeared to be pretty much a port of the Japanese Blu-ray from a couple of years ago. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that second site because there hasn't really.
You
been
see,
a-
they posted a picture today that they're almost finished with it.
Oh, okay, cool. That means they're not going to use my my tour of the Booba house. So bastards, if you're listening to this, second site, damn you. And then of course, boom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Iron City ass kickers.
I bet Matt, did you ever get this?
Yeah, I did. I got it at
Okay.
Living Dead Weekend.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay, sweet. Yeah, I know. I've reached out to Christian Barefoot, and I'm hoping to
Christian,
get some.
do y'all have any pictures from when that was filmed?
No, it was 2 days of wrestling and I think one night at the bar, and none of us took any pictures. Somebody else took a picture of George and JB and me and Mark Ritchie, and we don't know who took the picture. We never got a copy of it, so none of us have any proof that really happened. But except for that,
the video. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, I've never seen any stills from that.
And
No,
I've
in
got-
fact, we're going through helping Russ Striner sort through some stuff because he's going to be donating things to Pitt, I believe, eventually. And in one of the folders, there was a photocopy of an article from the McKeesport Times or whatever it was, and it said wrestlers ready for close-up or something like that. And I was like, wow, I didn't know there was an article about that. And the newspaper no longer exists, but he had that copy, and he said, you can have that. I said, thank you very much. So there was a little article about it.
That's cool.
Yeah. I didn't know we got any press.
Just in real quick to wrap it up, I've gotten a couple of foreign VHS recently. I got these two Turkish VHS. I guess they're written Greek or whatever, but
eBay finds.
yeah. And I had honestly, I'm a
I can
freak.
read. Yeah, that is Greek. It says Timothy Hutton.
Yeah, honestly, I wanted to make a T-shirt of this right here. Just this.
There's
Yeah.
that's in Greek that says George Romero.
Does this say directed or director or directed by?
I can back up a little bit. Skinothisia. I don't know what the hell that means, but I guess director.
That's a T-shirt right there.
But there's no J sound in Greek. So to say George, they have to cheat and put TZ. So it's George Romero.
Oh,
the P is an R in Greek.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay. And then of course, this is good fun.
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Dude.
I mean, it's like she's just gotten done riding this dude's face or something.
The monkey is not happy.
No, he's pissed. He's like,
wait, I'm confused.
What are you thinking? You don't ride faces around me, boy. Anyway, that's it.
Hey, really fast. What happened to Dave? When
Dave.
He's angry. He hate departed.
I wish he was still here because I was just going to let him know something about Major Cooper. So I was just going to let him know that.
Oh shit! Hang on.
Blank check.
Dave, where are you?
It's already for Dave.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
So hopefully he's still watching.
There was only enough electricity to run your internet or his lights, and apparently your internet won.
No, and I honestly, I mean, just after seeing your collection, it's just like anything that anybody else has regarding Day of the Dead, just surrender it to this guy because, you know, once you see what he has, you know that's where it belongs. All right, what are you doing, Jace?
I forgot I bought this movie Mylar for Creepshow. I don't think it's original.
Oh, sweet.
It's I think that the originals were transparent, but I have one for Night, and I have a frame for it. So I have a frame on the way for this.
What could be the reason, though? Think about it. Why would someone make it otherwise?
Well, it's probably screened at some theater, maybe as a legacy thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been looking for one for Dawn, and so they're only Matt's favorite version of Dawn.
Yeah.
But also,
yeah, I've got one of those as well.
Matt reminded me when he was showing me or showing his stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I picked this up. It was like $10.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's cool. It's got all the stills and production notes in it. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's it.
Nice.
All right. Mr. Willis.
Is Daniel?
Daniel, are you reaching for something?
I had the book. Does anyone have the book?
No, I don't have the book.
Is that
the book is
legit?
real?
That's a real one. That is
okay.
Yeah, that's real.
Because it was based on the book. They just reissued the book with the movie cover when the movie came out.
No, I want to recreate one like that for
with Tootku on it.
For Bruiser.
For Bruiser.
Yeah, just with a little tear. Yeah.
So I saw when I saw Tom Atkins in July at a convention, I was like, I always bring something Bruiser for Tom to sign. So almost everything I have, Bruiser, Tom to sign. So it's funny. So I give him a copy of one of the drafts of Bruiser that I have signed by George. And it's so funny. He's like, what do you want me to write on it? I don't know what to write. And I'm like, Tom, you can write whatever you want. And he just defaults to, one of those lines that he's writing all the time. So on my Bruiser script, it's funny. He goes, Matt, stop reading this crap. And I'm like, people are going to take this the wrong way. Like, you're shitting on Bruiser. But he kind of laughed at it. And I was like, I didn't know what to have him write on it. So
I got to talk to him about Two Evil Eyes for a little while. I think we were at the same show, weren't we, Matt?
Scares? Yeah, I've seen Tom 3 times this year so far, so it's been nice to catch up with him. Tom's always a good, always spoke fondly of George, or always does speak fondly of George, and he's definitely someone whose career is just memorable from start to finish. Yeah. I mean, the man's never done anything bad.
Here's a weird.
He always seems like he's in a good spirit too.
He is. He really is.
Cover to old magazine.
Oh, that's
Frame
cool.
Broke. Boston American Herald. I guess this is from when Creep Show came out. They had a big review. In it. I got this off a lot. It came with a bunch of little clippings and stuff.
Nice.
Nice, man. You working the Creep Show stuff lately?
Yeah, I'm just showing the Creep Show stuff today. I want to pitch the GARF doing us a board game night.
Let's do it, man.
Board game. Yeah, I got everybody to sign that Come On board game, the Zombie Side board game.
Yeah, I got one too.
Oh, nice.
I got the itch to play it.
I do too, and I've never played it, man. Hey, learn the rules for us, and then get us.
Uncle Dave's got it. Uncle Dave's got it. We did a round down here one night.
No shit. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool, man. Yeah. No, I'm down with it. And where the hell is Uncle Dave, man? Do we run him off or?
Uncle Dave's off. He got a job interview, so he's staying with Mama and Daddy, hanging out with his mom. Just had surgery yesterday, so he's taking care of Ma.
All right.
Yeah, babies are asleep.
Yeah, I promised I'd bring this
wife,
guy.
Wife says, "Hey, that thing is sick just because of the Easter eggs on the back."
Yeah, honestly, that's what sold me on it. I mean, because the face sculpt is a little. It doesn't really look like the guy too much, but yeah, it's this stuff. This business here was really.
Yep.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's a nice detail. I mean, I imagine they ponied up for the rights. I don't know.
It's artistic.
Iron City beer.
interpretation.
Yeah, they had to give some to Christine's brother.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's
cool.
really cool. Yeah, and
was it a French set that came with it, like a French DVD or something?
No, it was originally what was the artist's name, Jace?
William Paquette.
He released those himself, and then I guess Trick or Treat Studios picked up the license and
all right,
did another round of them. But they also have some of the Fulci zombies and some of the ones from Burial Ground. Was that?
Well, it's Dr. Butcher, MD, or Zombie Holocaust.
That's it.
They have a full size figure of him too, which I don't know. I like the form factor of these. You know, like they display well all together.
Do it again, one more time.
One more.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that's great.
I got to show you a pair
Butcher back here.
Wait, let me see.
What's that, Christian? Okay, he's grabbed
these. Hang on. Oops, my DVDs.
And this guy's cool.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
A friend of mine is his name is Bill Hunt, and he worked. He lives in New Zealand now. He used to work at Weta Workshop. He worked on Lord of the Rings, and he just lives in Wellington now. He got married and stayed there, but he sculpted these a couple years ago.
Oh, nice!
Oh, that's nice.
That's There's that one, and then of course it's a set of bookends because they're flat on the back.
I was gonna say it looked like a piggy bank.
It's well, the other one is.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Man.
Oh,
Yeah,
really
cool.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That's
So, yeah.
great.
I have them on either side of my DVDs.
Incredible, man.
But Bill did beautiful stuff. Yeah.
Who was the artist again?
Bill Hunt.
Bill Hunt. Very cool, man.
He used to
That's
work.
awesome.
He used to work at K&B. I think he made the rounds of the effects shops in LA, but he was known as the master of horror.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, all right, folks. If anybody doesn't have anything else to share, I mean, we're
One
pretty.
more.
Oh shit! One more, Daniel. What you got, brother?
I got some stuff.
Always wanted this poster, and I never bought one, so I made
It's
one.
Belgium, right?
So yeah, I made this.
Oh no,
So this is
you
hand
drew
drawn.
that.
Yeah, this is hand drawn. Yeah, this is hand drawn. I got Tom to sign it. I met Ken the other day, but just didn't feel like everything's so expensive now. You know, I can't afford it now. But I'm slowing down on my artwork. I'll announce it here, I guess. But this will be 2 years of me posting my artwork every Friday. But I want to slow down on the every Friday stuff. I don't want my bank to run out. I don't want to feel obligated to post every Friday. I've got so much personal stuff going on with the kids and the wife. I just haven't had time to be creative like I want to. So maybe slowing it down to once a month instead of once a week. I'd rather do better. I'd rather do more like high quality stuff anyway versus just pumping out content, I guess. I took a hiatus for like 8 years and didn't draw anything. I just quit drawing and just woke up one morning and said, you know what? I need an excuse to pick it back up. So, and I've been doing it all. I'm not advertising it, not selling anything. I just just doing it for fun, doing it for the fans. So I hope everybody's been enjoying it.
Yeah, I think about doing prints of that Belgium one, man. That was pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
thank you. I got a Night Riders one I did. I got a Night of the Living Dead UK quad I made. I don't even know, man. I made a clock tower drawing of the clock tower.
That was nice. You gave that one away, right?
Yeah, I gave that to Kelly as a thank you for everything she does for us up there. Yeah,
that was incredible. No, yeah, you gotta. Wow, I don't know legalities and stuff involved, but
I don't have the time to mess with it. If it becomes a job, then it's not fun. So I'm just doing it for fun, man.
Yeah, no, that was beautiful. The Belgium recreation. It was nice.
Yeah,
man.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
All right, I got some stuff.
Let's see,
Mr.
Well,
Will.
I'm gonna tip out, fellas. I gotta call it a night. But
Good
thank you
seeing
for
you,
having me
brother.
on.
Thank you,
Thanks,
dude.
brother.
Appreciate you,
Oh, you bet.
sharing everything you got, man.
Thanks for having me. I love you guys.
All right,
Love you too,
brothers.
man.
Happy one
See you
year.
soon.
Thank you, Christian.
So I've got you guys probably own this, but it's a German steelbook DVD of the Crazies autographed to me from Lowery.
Yeah,
It's got this cool
no relation.
double disc.
Hang on, I have that. I can't remember if I got her to sign it or not.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
cool.
cool. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, this is I didn't have a cool copy. I had like the bare bones copy of the Crazies.
That's what I have. Yeah.
And it's got like a cool like artwork or theatrical posters inside, and then
I want to say that one
Very
had
German.
like a pretty long interview with Lynn Lowery on it. That's not on other discs.
no, yeah, I think this has cool special features that I
Is
don't
that
even
from
think.
Germany.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
man.
from Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
My hunt begins.
there you go. Okay, so there's that. I don't know how many people own this. This is kind of people consider this a Shaggy Dog of a movie, but I like it. It's a Flesh Eater. It's
Fuck
the
yeah.
continuation of Bill Heinzman's character from the original Night of the Living Dead. I think it's underwatched, underloved, but this is the Shriek Show release, and he actually wrote and directed this, so he picked up the own continuity of his Cemetery Zombie. I always thought this was a fun movie.
Cameo
Bill
by
Lasgo will pay you big money for that. He's been asking me if I find one of him to sell that to him. He wants it real bad. Bandage guy from Dawn of the Dead. You know what I'm talking
Is
about?
that out of print or something?
I'm not sure. I got this years ago. Like I just
Me
found
too.
it.
I got it in a Shriek Show 3-pack with a couple other films. It's got Vince Cervinsky in a cameo, unmissable cameo.
Until you guys mentioned it before, and I'm sure you'll keep us posted on the announcements about the Blu-ray. But until then, I think this is the best version of Martin that exists. This is the
man.
Arrow double disc. It's got the international cut and European. It's got European commentary from George. Here's all the. I won't pull out all the features, but this is everything that comes with it on the back. And this is really hard to find.
Yeah, that's one I don't have.
That
This
thing's
is
primo, brother.
This is a great copy. Martin's. It goes back and forth, but I'd have to say Martin's my favorite George non-zombie movie. I mean, it's great. Come on, I'll be quick because I know you guys want to pop off. This is a promo piece that came from I believe it was San Diego
Comic-Con. Yeah.
Comic-Con
magazine.
Yeah, I have one.
And this my buddy went to the Q&A and he's like, "Oh, I got this. You like Romero stuff, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, I'll hook you up." So it's actually signed by Greg and Joe Hill on the inside too.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, so I thought this was kind of cool. I did pick up one for Mr. Burian. We lost him, but these are stories that aren't on the series so far.
You
At
got
least.
research if he hate left. What's up, man?
I will. I'll find out. I don't think he rage quit. And then finally, I think most people in this room already know I have this, but for those of you watching for the hardcore, I'll pull up one reel here.
Oh, you stinky.
This is
I know what that is.
the 16 millimeter international cut of Dawn of the Dead. I would love to show this, but I don't want to get sued. So if Mr. Rubenstein will give us the rights to show it, I would love to do a public
Keep talking,
showing.
Will. I'm gonna go grab something. Will you give me 120 seconds?
Sure. So yeah, this is part 2 of the reel. I've screened one of these reels in private, but yeah, it's still in good shape. I haven't digitized it either. I would love to get this digitized. I can't say where I got it from, but I had to sell my soul to get it. But I'm one of 3 people that I know has one, and one of the other person is Greg Nicotero, and I'm not outing him. He openly says he has it. So, but yeah, I would if Richard could give us the rights, I would do something if we could team up with the GARF, and if the proceeds went to the GARF for charity, like, hey, I'm saying it right here, Richard Rubenstein, reach out to the GARF, and if you're okay, I don't want any money for it. I just want people to see it, and then all the proceeds can go to charity. So
he's still covering.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
balls in your court.
I mean,
that's pretty much it. I have my George doll. If you need one of these, you gotta get one of these because I know these are a hot item. But
yep.
Yeah, so that's my collection. I don't have a lot. I have memories. This is a personal item. So when I got laid off from my 9-to-5 job, Jason Baker gave me a job helping him make these, and this is the first one I made for myself. So he's still selling these, Colosseum Studios. So I was lucky to work with Tom and Jason for about 6 months during the pandemic, and it was cool every day. It was like story time with Grandpa. No offense to Tom, but he would just come in the shop, and I was always cool with Tom and Jason, but I feel like I became friends with them during that time we worked together. There's a cool documentary coming out that you can see my hands in the trailer for Shudder. It's called The Monsters That Made Us, and there's an episode on Jason Voorhees that they shot. So I can tell that now because it's coming out. So
cool.
So check that out on Shudder.
How's the color on your Dawn of the Dead print?
It's red. It's pink.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. I love it. That's how old prints are supposed to look.
Mm-hmm.
I love the HD.
Well,
I think I'm a fan of both. I like not shitty, but like something with character to it, color, scratches, and I love the cleaned up stuff. I
bring that down to the Lowery drive-in here. I'd love to hook that up in the backyard and watch it with you.
Give me a couch to crash on, Dan. And we'll talk.
I got a 16 millimeter projector here too, so you ain't got to worry about that.
All right, we'll talk.
All right, I ran and grabbed this while Will was describing this 16, and as far as I know, there's only 10 of these in the world. This is an 8
is that Super 8?
This is a Super 8 full. It's a full Italian version. It's
wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6 reels.
8 millimeter.
So it's Super 8. So it's the entire Italian version. I've actually screened this, and it was apparently it's not official. It was duplicated off of a Titanus Italian print, and the person that I bought it from had 2 of them and gave me this history, so I'm trusting him on this. But yeah, I've screened it. I've also got the German, but I mean, in my opinion, this is above the German just because it's rare.
Well,
as
and
shit,
that one has the basement zombie scene in it too, doesn't it?
I mean,
because like the German doesn't have it.
Yeah, it's the full Argento version.
That's cool.
I mean, it's got some splices. It ain't, it's not mint or anything, but it's.
I think I saw that on Homepage of the Dead way back in the day, like when they were listing all the different Dawn memorabilia.
That sounds familiar because I remember seeing that. But I mean, Eric showing it now is probably the first time I've seen it.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen it. I think on Homepage of the Dead they even said it was a bootleg.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Since
go ahead.
Since I've been quiet, I guess I can share something.
All right.
Here's the original script to Day of the Dead.
Nice.
Yeah, the original script, because there's a total of 4 scripts, and so this is actually, I would say, not the first one, but the second one. Like the first one, the very, 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 very first one. I know I said that's the first one, but that's like, I don't even think anyone's even really. I don't even know anyone that has a copy of the extremely rare. But this one would have to be the second one, and I got this from Heritage Auctions, and then I also have a duplicate that I got from Galen Ross from Dawn of the Dead.
We're at pretty low numbers here, man. Share that story, dude, if you can.
What's that?
The Galen. If you're comfortable with it, I just
not on the internet.
That's a hotel room story. That's a Patreon story.
Yeah, Patreon exclusive story.
Put it behind the paywall.
There you go. Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
There you go.
I got to thank you for Jace here. Jace sent me this.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
I got one of those. Me too, man. I
thank
love
you,
it.
Jace.
And now Jason and Mr. Wills are like, what the hell? Show it one more time, Daniel.
Yeah.
That's too cool, man.
Nice.
I love the Rubenstein avoidance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was necessary.
Nice.
No actual images.
I see your strategy, and I appreciate
It was necessary because I dealt with him.
Yeah, no, I remember your story
That's
on
crazy.
that.
Or I should say I dealt with his assistant.
Yeah, that was my experience when I wanted to use a Dawn poster in the short film we made. I emailed him, dealt with the assistant, and very clear and concise instructions on what we had to do and when the film had, like, he was basically telling us, like, when your film was finished, we need a copy of it and everything. And I was like, okay. So we sent him the YouTube link. That was it.
Was that the Fast Zombies Suck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to add quote unquote legitimacy to it, so it didn't look like there was not a real zombie movie in the thing. So I was like, I'll just email Rubenstein and say, look, it's going to be a poster on the wall. This is what we're going to do with it. We're not going to reference it, but we want to have it in the background. And he was cool with it. Didn't ask for any money or anything. So.
Really? I was going to say.
Nope. No, because we weren't distributing it for profit.
Oh yeah, okay.
It was just a project with us and Brian Keene. So
yeah.
He was cool with that. I mean, it was a total of like 3 days of back and forth, and that was it. And once I sent him the final copy of the film, I never heard from him again.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing on him, but he's busy.
Yeah.
I think like when I was doing the negotiations, he was supposedly off working on the stand. I don't know what he did for that, but I know he owned some of the rights for that TV version of it, or the newer one.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was pretty good.
I watched the first part. I haven't finished it. Neither good nor bad. Just kind of didn't go back to it, and I should.
And that wasn't George attached to the stand at one point?
He wanted to make it.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been really cool.
I think there's isn't there one of those promo images from like a Variety or something? Like,
I think so.
That has his name on it.
We'll have to talk to Ben Rubin to see, like, what do you got on the stand?
Yeah.
In the archive.
Yeah, maybe George did a treatment or something, and
even a memo.
Have you gone online yet to take a look at the inventory?
I thought I saw one in there.
I think you're right. Yeah. Daniel. So we'll have to pick that dog will hunt. All right. Well, we've hit the two hour mark. Yeah. Let's let everybody ride. But no, I mean, everybody on this line, I love you to death with all my heart, man.
Yes.
I mean, seriously.
One thing I can definitely say is, congratulations on the year, and also too, with everything that had been going on with the pandemic, it was really nice that you guys kind of made life feel normal. Because there was a lot of shit that was going on, I think, for everyone, but it was like you guys would come on and it was like our escape from everything. So
I was on right at the beginning of the pandemic. We had just had the twin girls, I think, and it was nobody knew what was going on. We were all tied to the news at the time.
I just want to tell you guys, I was in the green room about falling asleep from the stories you were telling, and you guys need to learn how to be the change.
Be the change. Oh, by the way, Sid Vicious's podcast is off the air. I feel safe now.
That was wild,
man. We were probably the next guests, and then
I know. We were in Sid's green room, and then just I mean, everybody decided he sucked all at once.
We'll get Sid back.
Yeah, we need to bring him in the family. Maybe part of the GARF Network.
Well, yeah,
GARF presents
on the year,
kayfabe.
guys, man. Congrats on the year. I mean, you had us goofballs on, and then you have Ed Harris on, and we're coming on right after Greg Nicotero. I mean,
Right.
appreciate it.
Nah, you are my Greg Nicotero, all of y'all, man. I
Yeah,
mean, seriously.
No, we love you guys. We love having you guys on these. You know, Eric was kind of saying, he's like, oh, don't have show notes to go over. Like, this is fun.
Notes
we don't
free
have,
shows.
We don't have to prep for it. It's just BSing with friends for a couple of hours, and you know, it's just fun to reconnect. Even though we were able to all see each other this year at some point. Obviously, Jace, West Coast, but you know, we stay in constant contact.
Where's Jace? Where are you?
Sacramento, California.
Oh, nice. I wouldn't leave there either. I don't blame you.
Well, it's crazy here. But I mean, I've been planning on visiting the Monroeville Mall for decades, and it's going to happen.
You got to come out to a Living Dead weekend. That's when
for
all
sure.
the parties goes down. So
brother, it needs to happen in 2022.
I sent Jace some footage that nobody else has seen, so maybe he'll throw that up on a Thursday of the Dead sometime.
Yeah, in fact, I have. I mean, you know, you probably know I'm running another contest for that Land of the Dead poster giveaway.
Okay.
And I haven't picked the winner yet, and I still have your footage. So you're the winner. We'll just announce it now.
What's my prize?
It's a double-sided Land of the Dead poster.
Oh,
it's
hell
like
yeah.
the
Thank you, sir.
It's the one with all the blurbs on it. It's not like the original theatrical. I think it's even cooler because it's different.
Is it the one with the two blurbs on the top?
Yes.
Yeah, I got that from a local theater during its theatrical run, and I
ended up with. Whoops!
Quick, look over there.
The Blair Witch got him.
I know. You can stand in the corner.
What do I owe you to ship that to me and throw in that airport zombie behind your head?
Not for sale.
I tried.
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
You need one of Jason's big checks.
Right.
You could probably get Mr. Blasey to autograph that for you.
Oh, that's funny.
I'll sign it. I'll sign it like Tom. I'll sign the whole thing. 27 by 40 autograph.
Right.
Yeah, Garf, if there's ever anything I can do to help y'all out too, anytime, y'all feel free to reach out. Anything to keep carrying on George's legacy and his work, I'm all in for. Appreciate what you guys do.
like Eric said, you know, this is, you know, the end of what we would call season 1, and we're already looking into November and forward and getting stuff lined up to make it even bigger and better, and more of the stuff that you guys want and stuff that you guys didn't know you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what we just want to keep getting better and doing better for everybody, because we love doing this. We love helping George and his legacy, and Suze and her mission, and everybody. Suze watches all the shows. She tells us all the time. She watches all the shows. So, you know, thank you to Suze for the opportunity and everything that you do. And there's a great team with the GARF. So don't forget to donate if you guys can. Throw a couple bucks up to the garf.org and help us get to that 15,000 by Halloween. We only got a couple of days left. So, you know, anything that helps. Thank you.
So I have a funny story about that. I showed my wife the beginning of the Greg Nicotero interview just because he said hi, Jace, in the beginning, and she watched like the beginning with Malcolm McDowell and the pitch, and then she's like, "Is it tax like charitable?"
Yeah,
like
yeah.
She's like, "Okay, yeah, we'll donate," because like her company's going to donate to it.
Oh wow!
Oh well,
incredible.
Tell your wife to tell her company. Thank
Amazing.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you
That's
from
awesome.
Susan the GARF. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, especially because the match is awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. No, and I said earlier, I love every last one of you guys, and you know, a real friend will help you move. A true friend will help you move a body. I'll help every last one of you guys. I will help every last one of you guys move a body.
Likewise.
So
I hope we can all, Jace, as soon as you get out to the East Coast, I mean, that needs to happen. Just make it happen. Don't make us, we don't need to be getting on to you too much longer about this. And,
you're not going to pay for a meal while you're out here. Everybody's going to be buying you everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You will not buy alcohol in Pittsburgh. It's not happening.
All right. Fair enough.
And no, we look forward to seeing you ASAP, as well as all of you. Maybe next summer for the Living Dead weekend. Who knows?
Yep.
But yeah, just for everybody's sanity, let's wrap this up.
High five, everybody! High five! High five! All right.
I'm Eric.
I'm Matt.
And happy end of season 1 for the GARF Network. We love you all, and we will see you next time.
Happy Halloween.
Halloween.